Hello, hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. It is your president and your co founder, Nicole Ward from African American Women Trucking Association. Whether you're here with us in virtually or you are catching the replay, we are so excited and we're so thankful that you decided to take time out of your day to learn and grow with us, right? So if you're here, you have the opportunity to meet a friend, meet a peer, make sure you meet someone. You're leaving with somebody's information, right? This is what this is about for us to learn, educate, and connect. And if you are catching the replay, well, hopefully you can catch us in person next Saturday. But either which way, we're excited that you had the opportunity to be here or just listen. So I thank you, and I'm excited. And let's do this thing. Timada, let's go.
All right, thank you, Nicole. And as this we are looking at the website aawta.org, want to highlight what's going on in person, if you wouldn't mind speaking a little bit there, and then introducing the leadership team who is on board today.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, if you haven't gotten your tickets, hopefully you have, right? Because we have the second annual The Power to Drive Change fundraising gala. So that actually is taking place on Thursday. So if you haven't got your tickets, only a few more left. We're actually going to have to shut it down Monday because we're going to be over capacity. So if you haven't done so, make sure you visited our website, www.aawta.org, to grab your tickets. We do have 2 for 1s. Again, that is going to be gone on Monday. I want to say thank you to our leadership team, right? We have Miss Lotta Love Hawkins, which we really appreciate. She is our director of the Community Engagement Committee. What does that mean? Everything that you see, all right, everything that you're attending, everything that feels like community. This community is making it happen, and our community engagement committee, our director, is very involved, making sure that you have what you need to make sure that you're progressive, you're productive, and that you're able to move forward in your business, right? So that's the part that we're excited about. So we appreciate our leadership team. We also have Jeff, which is also on the line, I believe. We thank you for also being a leader. Yes, so December 12th, that is next Thursday. Make sure you get your tickets. You'll be able to meet leadership in the building. You're going to be able to meet members, new members, old members, returning members, all of the above. You'll be able to meet leadership, take photos, red carpet, all of the above, right? So it's going to be amazing. We're excited. We thank you all the leaders that are making this place take place, all the volunteers, all the leadership, all of everybody that is in the background, actually making sure that this is an amazing event. So you don't want to miss it. You want to make sure that you're there. Even if you're not, I believe we're going to do some virtual options at some point. So stay tuned for that. We thank you to all of our sponsors. We thank you to all the vendors. We thank each and every one of you just for supporting this. This is for us. This is a FUBU method for us, but by us, right? So we want to make sure that we're able to celebrate and get in one room. So I'm excited. I appreciate all your support. Again, make sure you get your tickets. Said Monday. I'm going to shut it down. So grab your tickets as soon as you can. Thank you.
Awesome, Miss Donna. Did you want to introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. Good morning. Happy Saturday. I'm telling you, Saturday mornings at 12 o'clock is also one of my favorite times because um, it's learning time. There's nobody out there that's bringing us information. So I applaud our leaders, Lada, God bless you, and everybody, all of our amazing leaders that step up and support us. This is part of our auto membership, guys. So let's make sure that we're taking advantage of it. I don't even remember if I formally introduced myself. Please forgive my voice. I'm just getting over bronchitis, but my name is Donna Shepherd. I am the proud mother of Nicole Ward, your um, fearless leader there, and also the co-founder of um, AUTA. I am a professional driver, and guys, everything that has to do with the transportation business, I am so pleased that AUTA brings us all this valuable information and tools for us to use. So again, if you're new, welcome, and if you're here every week, good to hear and see you again. Lada?
All right, thank you. So, I'll get on camera too, real briefly, since look, we got new folks. If I could find my button, there we go. All right, you guys. Hey, everyone. My name is Lotta Love Hawkins. I'm the director of the Community Engagement Committee. And so I am here in Dallas, Texas. I always have to say it whenever I have Jeff in the room. So just it's our thing. But we are all over, you guys, and I'm really excited to have this organization that is here to celebrate and acknowledge and support African American women in the industry. So you don't have to be the driver, you don't have to be a dispatcher. All roles, all voices are needed and accepted in this community. So if you want to join, we do have a dollar special going on to the end of the year. Great way to get free content like this, where we're going into the different areas of logistics, of trucking, so you can have a more holistic view of how it all works together, because it is the supply chain. And so, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and yield to our auto leader, our fleet management director, our coordinator. Look, I'm all over the place today, and he's going to introduce his special guest as well, and we'll take it from here, gentlemen. So thank you for coming, and then we'll go around and then do introductions at the very, not the very end, unless you want to do it right now, Jeff. I'll let you plan that how you like.
We can do it
Thank
after.
you. Okay.
You can do it after. Good afternoon. It's afternoon. Yeah, afternoon for most of us. Good morning to some of us that's still in a different time zone. As Lotta said, my name is Jeff Renfro, owner of Freight Runner Operators. I'm a trucking consultant with a dispatching service, and a very, 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 very proud member of AUTA, African American Women Truckers Association. I am your fleet management coordinator, all of the above, like Lila said a few minutes ago. And today, we're definitely having a much needed conversation, a much welcome conversation with my guy, my big brother, Aaron Miles of All American Truck and Trailer Repair. Um, a lot of times you hear about things that go on the road, whether it's the brokers, the drivers, all of those things are important. But one of the things that a lot of people don't probably talk about is the fact that you have to winterize those trucks. You have to get ready, mentally prepared, physically prepared for winter weather conditions. Myself, I'm from upstate New York, so I know all about driving in winter weather conditions. I've been a company driver for a good portion of my adult life, so I know about the importance of a proper pre-trip and post-trip. A lot of people just do the pre-trip and they just say, "Yeah, I did it this morning. I'm not doing it tonight because it's too cold. I'm trying to get in my vehicle, go home, be with my family, or be by myself." So it's very important. So I'm definitely enjoying welcoming this conversation today, and we're gonna get right into it. So without further ado, my big brother Aaron Miles, welcome today, sir, and I'm glad to see you and speak with you again. How you doing?
Hello, everyone. My name is Darren Miles. What's up, Jeff, Lada? This is an amazing organization. I'm proud to be a part of it. Looking to do some more great things with you guys in the coming years as we scale and grow. But my name is Aaron Miles. I'm co-owner of All American Truck and Trailer Repair. Co-operate and co-own a leasing company, a fleet of about we just under 35 trailers and flatbeds within the Southeast region. Was a fleet owner up until 2023, but started a trucking company back in 2017 and was a broker for about 5 to 6 years. So I've touched all aspects of the industry. And so have a unique perspective on a lot of different things. And I'm looking forward to share the information and hopefully save you guys money, time, and help you grow your business. So.
Oh yeah, thank you for that. Definitely. So well, let's go ahead and hop right into the discussion because there's a lot of stuff that we can share, and with a
Oh
little
yeah.
bit of time, I know we're
We need
probably
10 hours to be honest.
yeah,
But
yeah, I know we're probably gonna leave something out, but um, when you talk about winterizing the truck, let's start with the person first, because that's the most important is the person that's going to be behind that wheel. So what would you say is, maybe your top three, top five things that you would say is something that a driver should be looking to do when it comes to winterizing themselves before they even get to the truck?
Yeah, and I'll even take a step back. I think all of us, right, regardless of where we play, right, dispatchers, stakeholders, owners of companies, drivers, insurance, we all play a role in this, right? We all play a role in preventing accidents and fatal crashes, right? And so this is kind of where the heart of the conversation is going to be, right? In terms of, every year, right? Think about it. Every year, I see a FedEx pileup. You can't tell me one year there was never a pileup that included a FedEx truck.
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell me one year there was never a pileup. Why is that? How is that? Right? There's always these pileups and accidents, and so I think the first and foremost thing is that when it comes to the driver, dispatcher, whoever is directing that truck, we got to be more proactive in where we're sending these trucks to, right? We should not be booking loads and we're not looking at the radar. We're not checking the state and local DOT websites that let you know about the road conditions. For a lot of you guys, I'm sure you guys are aware, there's certain parts of the country that they'll shut the expressway down, particularly in Wyoming, I-80, right? I-90. There's certain parts of the country where you need to know what's going on, right? And that information is not going to be communicated by what I would call legacy media. I'm a kind of punch legacy media today because I think they love to make news, but they don't like to save lives. And we got to be in a position where we're being proactive in communicating, hey, there's blizzard conditions in upstate New York, right? Are we going to really take that load that's going to deliver in Syracuse, right? I don't care if the load's paying $3-4 a mile, right? And maybe you do take the load, right? But what defensive mechanisms are you putting in place to ensure that that load's going to get there safely? And if there is an emergency situation or adverse situation, do you have a plan in place to safeguard that the most important person, which is the driver, as well as the load and the equipment, right? And so these are the decisions that we should be making an informed decision. I've been on a lot of calls. I know a lot of can kind of speak to the clubhouse days where, people would just book loads and, I'm gonna take this load to Washington and the guy doesn't have chains or, we got to do a better job in just ensuring that we're following everything we can to make sure that truck is protected, that driver is protected. And so first and foremost, I would say download weather radar. There's tons of free apps out there. No load should be booked in this season without looking at the weather patterns, right? And checking with the city to make sure road conditions are clear, even if it's just 2 inches or 1 inches, right? We know certain states, they don't even have the proper infrastructure for salt, for making sure those road conditions are proper, right? Even if they clear the expressways, right? What about the side roads, right? What about those local roads, right? A lot of times those distribution centers that you're picking out of, they're in the middle of nowhere, right? And so, I've had so many times where I had to tow a truck out, truck gets stuck, can't move, got to get wedged out, and now I got a $1,000-$1,500 tow bill, right? And so that's still considered an emergency situation, right? And so I think we need to start there. Just be proactive with the weather, and knowing what these weather conditions are going to do.
Yeah, I like what you said there, and I'll tell you, even add on to what you said as a dispatcher myself. Um, when I get ready to have a consult with a client about me dispatching for them, I ask them where are you comfortable with going? Where are you, okay with? Are you okay with in the wintertime going up to, like you said, upstate New York, to Ohio, places like that get heavy snow? Or, are you okay with going on the West Coast, different things like that? So I implore everyone, if you're a dispatcher, if you're looking into getting into dispatching or anything that has to do with booking loads for someone, have those conversations in the beginning. It may not be okay for them in the beginning. They may say after they get some experience, they may be okay with it. But in the beginning, if they don't want to do it, please, 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 stay away from that, regardless of how much it's paying. Because
Absolutely.
I had a young man that was terrified for his life because his company that he was working for, they forced him to take a load, and he told him he didn't feel comfortable with the load, and he was scared. But to get back on track with what the discussion is, I like how we talk about the pre-trip. With the pre-trip aspect of it, before you even crank that truck, you want to look at, excuse me, having different your equipment that you want to bring with you on the road. I posted one time about I think it was from my guy Gary Bush out of Overdrive. He posted a great article, and it talked about some of the things that you should have with you when you get ready to hit the road, not just for winter conditions, but pretty much any time of year. But like we were talking about with the chains, the straps, he something that people probably never thought about, WD-40,
Yep.
flashlights, batteries, extra blankets, different things like that. So what would you say, when it comes to pre-tripping your vehicle, some of the things that you would definitely tell somebody, hey, make sure you have these essential items with you?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that we always come across at our shop is just making sure you're looking at your fuel filters, right, for fuel economy, but particularly in the wintertime. Your fuel filters is important to make sure you change it. Most people try to wait until every oil change, but it's something that you want to be more conscious of. I'll give you guys a little bit of a secret. So Landstar, we're a certified Landstar diesel mechanic shop. And so they require their trucks to get inspected every 90 days, DOT certified top to bottom. And in the wintertime, they're required to come to our shop every month. So they're not playing with, you know what I mean? We're going to give you 90 days or full year, right? Oh, yeah, it was a DOT for a year. We're good. No. They're checking behind their drivers to make sure that when they're pulling out, that truck is DOT. And see, the reason this is important, and I know a lot of can kind of chime in on this as well, is you got to think about worst case scenario, right? Let's say, Lord forbid, that truck gets rolled over and it gets into an accident. That happened to me in Franklin, Tennessee on Father's Day. You know what the office asked me? When was the last time a DOT inspection was done? And I want a detailed report of it, and I want a write-up from the mechanic signed off that it was completed. Now, luckily, thank God it was done a week ago, and so he passed the truck. But this is how you got to think about it, right? Because in the event you didn't check everything and you didn't make sure that truck was top to bottom ready to go, because this is what happens when you have these pileups, right? Insurance start fighting. Who's at fault, right? And if that tire was 2/32, right on the cups of being on DOT, attorneys are coming after you, right? And the officer also told me that too. He said, you don't have to worry about me. You better be worried about those attorneys, right? So this is a way to look at it, right? From a standpoint of worst case scenario, how do you protect your truck? And then you kind of work forward, right? And so, yes, pre-trip inspections is important. We gotta hold our drivers accountable and making sure that they're pre-tripping, that they're checking tires, right? I would add, and I'll be the first shop to advertise this, go to other shops and develop and establish a maintenance team, right? Because All American can't help you if you're in Seattle, Washington. I can help you if you're in Connally, Georgia, but I might not be able to help you if you're in North Atlanta. You follow what I'm saying? So proximity is important. Knowing your delivery points, your pickup points, where your truck is going to be passing in and out of, you should be establishing a mobile mechanic contact, a diesel mechanic shop, a tire shop, and a trailer shop. Because some diesel mechanic shops, surprisingly enough, they don't like to work on trailers, right? And you'll find when you're in a broke down situation on the side of the road, they don't want you to bring your trailer to the shop. I've been there several times on the side of the road. So build your team out, right? Let's say, you're routing, just hypothetically, Chicago carrier, because I'm from Chicago. You go from Chicago to Harrisburg, PA to Atlanta, then back up to Chicago. You should have a team in each of those cities. And you should be buffering probably 300 to 500 miles within that range of mobile mechanic. And the gem is you feed work occasionally to those shops. So if you don't come to All American, you ain't heard me. Trust me, it's fine, right? Because I want you to have a team, because likely you're not going to get broke down in your own city. That's the reality of the situation, right? it's likely you're gonna be in the middle of nowhere. But but the point is not to be in the middle of nowhere, to have a team in the middle of nowhere that can help you, that you are building a relationship. Like I had a good a tire shop, I think it was like Sawyer, Texas. They were really good. I'm not sure if they're still in business. I need to check. It's been a while since we sent trucks over there. But every time a truck would pass through, we would just have him look at the tires. He'll charge us at the time it's like $150, but we just did it. We just to build that relationship, because you never know in the middle, you passing through, tire blowout, et cetera, and that's when your relationships kick in. This is a relationship-driven business. People need to understand that. I get calls from people. My shop in Chicago, I used to go to Apco Equipment. He taught me everything I know about diesel shop. He sends stuff to our shop, vice versa. If a truck gets caught in Chicago, hey, I'm on the side of the road in Midlothian, Illinois. Hey, go to Apco. He's gonna take care of you, right? But if you don't know anybody, yeah, you better open up that wallet.
Yeah, you at their mercy.
So, just perspective.
Mm-hmm. Now, we talked a little bit about the pre-trip. Of course, very important. Winterizing themselves. What are some other tips and gems that you would say it's important when it comes to winterizing your truck? Because some people may have never even seen snow. So I know, for a fact that, I've seen drivers that say they had to go into a Walmart and buy a coat because they weren't, they was like, man, I didn't know it was going to be this cold, because they didn't check the weather. And then, they were not familiar with the terrain. So it's like, oh man, I gotta go and get a coat and some long johns, if you will. So what are some other things that you would say, not just for the person, but for the truck, period?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like extra batteries. I would definitely have spare drive tire. Because it's likely that you're gonna have a blowout. If it's a blowout or a flat, it's likely gonna happen on the trailer side, on the drive tire side. You should be burning and changing your steer tires every year. I hope you're doing that, because if you got a steer tire blowout, I mean that's not good. I mean, you should not be in that situation. So the likelihood is, right, you will probably want to have spare drive tires, because in a situation where you're in the middle of nowhere, you rather have them come out, change a tire, and not try to upcharge you on a brand new tire. And in our little group chat, I brought that up where I didn't have a spare tire and I got taken to town. Yeah. All right. So, and it's part of the conversation, right? It's being proactive, right? Like there's a difference in coolant costs if you go to Pilot and Flying J compared to if you order it on Amazon or order it or you pick it up at Walmart. It's a huge price difference, right? And so I would just encourage, like getting, warm clothes, blankets, water, anything that they sell at the truck stop, you pretty much can get that in most cases at Walmart, if not Home Depot, right? And so that price differential is important. It's just it kind of goes back to who's managing the replenishment of it, if coolant runs out, who's checking the batteries, et cetera, right? And so that's why part of my encouragement, and again, if you don't go to my shop, that's fine. You go to any shop you want. But when we had our trucking company up, we would have our trucks touch the shop at least every time they go out. Like if they go out for 3 weeks, we'll have the shop go through the entire truck and make sure they were good to go. And then I will go and just verify, hey, you got the coolant, you got whatever you need, wiper fluid, all the stuff that, you're likely going to be burning and using repeatedly while you're on the road, right? Obviously the net savings for you, right? You're going to save more money, less crazy bills, less, high markup prices at the truck stop. But somebody has to manage that process. That's why we're all stakeholders in it, right? Doesn't matter if it's the driver, the dispatcher, the owner, the company, we all play a role in ensuring everyone's safety. but that goes back to being informed, right? You know, if you have a driver that's not comfortable going to the state of Washington, don't send them. Don't even chance. I could care less if it's paying 10, 12 bucks a mile. That load might not come back. And in fact, we saw, a couple of years ago with that driver that was new who caused that pileup accident in Colorado, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't know what he was doing, going down a grade. People lost their lives for a load, right? Like this is all avoidable. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's all avoidable. But yet every year we're gonna see a couple of pileups this year. We're gonna see a couple of trucks get flipped over. And we just gotta stop normalizing it. You know what I mean? Like it's too much information in this world, too much information at our fingertips that we still sending trucks into blizzard conditions. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And we got a hand up, so I'm gonna allow her to ask her question right quick while we.
Oh, absolutely. We could go on for 3
definitely,
days.
Yeah, definitely. Miss Donna, go ahead with your question.
Oh, hi, and thanks for hosting this really great information. One of the questions I've always had is about additives. I'm glad you mentioned about making sure that every time the truck gets off the road, that you get it in the shop to get looked over. That's one of the things that we prided ourselves on when we had our trucking company. But I'm always at a loss for additives, fuel additives. Does that help during the winter?
Yes, it does. It depends on the additive you're using. It depends on the make and model, the engine output. All that plays a role in it as well. What I've realized is that gelling typically takes place when you're not keeping it fully fueled up. And I know we got a couple of owner operators might be in here, but I just know from experience, and I know working with owner operators, they like to play the fuel game and they get caught out there. So, and that's part of it, right? The offensive perspective, right? Keeping my fuel bill down so I can have a higher settlement. But on the back end, now your truck can't turn over. Now you got a roadside situation that costs you $500-600, and you could have added some additives, kept your truck fully fueled up, and maybe save that money. But these are the decisions that trucking companies, owner ops make day in and day out, right? And so, sometimes championships are not all won, playing offense. You got to play defense. You got to spend some money, and whatever it's going to do to position yourself and not having that mobile guy come out, why not? You know what I mean? Why not take that? Why not take that step? So I encourage additives. I encourage anything that's going to, limit roadside and being broke down, obviously. So that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, that's great information. Great question, Miss Donna.
Awesome, thanks.
Yep, great question. So I have a list here of, I would say, some essential items that owner operators should have with them. I'm just gonna name off a few, and
Yeah.
if you got some you can add, I'm sure that you can add to it. Just your thoughts on this, and just I'm gonna just name a few of them. I got vice grips,
Absolutely.
um, belts for like fan belts,
Yep.
fuses, flashlight. You already said some water. You said batteries.
That batteries, because sometimes it's hard. What you got to think about is what is a likely part that will break down on your truck, right? So one. This goes back to how often is your truck touching the shop, and how often are you having the same repeated issues? And so, like a water pump, for example, like water pump on a Freightliner 2017, right? If you know that part is hard to come by, you should have an extra water pump on your truck. In the event that you do get broken down in the middle of nowhere, you're not waiting 3 to 4 weeks for that water pump to come in, right? So like this is kind of this is how we used to think, right? Like what's likely to break down? What's likely going to be the issues we're going to have? Spare batteries, right? Most roadside people can get to a shop and get batteries, but why not have it on you, right? Hey, can you just change out my batteries? All right, perfect. But yeah, go ahead. But go ahead. Go ahead with
Yeah,
yours.
yeah. No, no, that was good stuff. I see something that says a C clamp, and I know someone in the chat said phone phone charger. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's essential. Like,
Absolutely.
gotta have your charger. You got I go through my phone all day, so I gotta make sure my charger's with me at all times, plugged up. Um, I know for
Jumping
myself,
cables, obviously.
jumper cables, definitely. I was
Yeah.
just about to say jumper cables. I know for myself because I'm a company driver. Some of the things that I noticed with our company trucks are the fuel gauges sometimes work, sometimes they don't. So
Yeah.
just having something that you can check, to make
Yeah,
sure
that's a
that
good
your
point.
fuel is proper. I remember when I drove for a garbage company, we used a stick just to,
Mhm.
test it. You put it in there, find out how far down, and then like, okay, I know if I'm at a certain point, I need to go to get some more fuel, or
Yeah.
I need to fill it up because I'm at this. If anything goes on with your gauges, you definitely need that flashlight because if them lights go out, it's like, oh man.
Yeah.
But anything that you could think of,
Air
tire
dryer.
gauge, airlines, yep, airlines,
Yeah.
all that stuff. Definitely. But yeah,
Glad
add to
hands.
the list.
Glad hands.
Hmm.
Glad hands go bad. Trying to think of anything else.
Oh yeah,
Trying to think. Yeah,
yeah,
glad
glad hands,
hands.
glad hands for sure, glad hands for sure.
Yeah.
I've seen videos where they break, people trying
Yeah,
to,
they froze, you
couple,
freeze out.
yeah, yeah, and that's gonna be a tough one.
And
Um,
can
Light
I
bulbs too. Light bulbs, and you also got to look at your fuses. You should always have extra fuses,
mhm.
um, and light bulbs because you'll be surprised. Obviously when you're pre-tripping, you're walking around the truck. Be able to have access to a light bulb. You know what I mean? You'll be the roadside will mark a light bulb up like 500%. You know what I mean? But you get pulled over, hey, they're gonna put you out of service.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Go ahead, Miss Donna. I heard you. You had
Oh,
something?
I was gonna say, an ice scraper is gold if you're up there in those wintry places. Extra blankets are also great, and extra flares and reflective
Yeah.
triangle.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously add just like like have like an emergency kit. You know what I mean in terms of like having like your triangles, your flares. One thing I will bring up too is that most windshield wipers are ran on a motor, and so I would, as a backup, have an extra motor. They're not that expensive, but we had a situation when we was in Pennsylvania where our motor went out, and we had to wait a full week because Volvo, it was a Volvo motor, and like they had to order it. It's like it cost us time. I mean, it's nothing we could do, right? Like we need a windshield. It's snowing, right? And like moving forward, I wish I would have had extra motor and he could have popped it on. So things like that is how, you know what I mean? Like obviously having things that you need on a truck, but thinking about that part that could be crucial if you break down and to limit your downtime, you got it on your truck already.
Oh yeah. If nobody hears anything else from me today besides this, proper footwear in the
Oh yeah.
wintertime is essential. My very first, I know I don't look like it, but I started driving commercial wise in '99. And when I tell you I did not have the proper footwear and I was done at the end of the day, that's super essential. Of course, the gloves, the hand warmers, they got gloves you can charge up and keep you warm and stuff like that. But definitely,
And also salt too, because a lot of times
salt,
a lot
yeah,
of these facilities when you're coming out of the truck and you're going to a truck stop and you're trying to get out of the truck, you need to put some salt down because a lot of times, I mean, we all know some of them facilities they don't do anything. They don't
yeah.
put no salt down or nothing, right? So have a bag of salt on you.
Oh yeah, yeah. We're coming up with 20 minutes left in our session here.
Wow, that
So
went fast.
yeah, it does, and I know like we with the time that we have, we're definitely gonna be able to not get to every single thing, but what is something else you would say? Like you said, you had some notes there. So what is something that you say is essential that you would recommend for
Yeah,
winterizers?
I would definitely revisit your emergency standard operating procedure, right? And just make sure that, and I'm sure a lot of could chime in on this. I'm gonna bring up the insurance situation, right? But just making sure, like, in the event of an accident or any situation out there, that there's like a binder with like all the contacts, who's the owner, registration paperwork. Like, this is a good time, and actually, it's the end of the year, right? But just make sure like all your documents are in a dump, right? Like, hey, making sure registration's good, DOT inspections in there, uh, you know, copy of the driver license that's driving that truck. Obviously, a lot of this stuff is electronic, obviously, but it doesn't hurt just having a quick binder. Because again, in the event the truck rolls over, and I've been in that situation, it's easy for them to, go get that binder, and go through whatever they need to go through to figure out and identify what happened and who's the owner of the truck, et cetera, right? And obviously you got, the MC numbers on the side of the truck. And then just kind of review your insurance limit, double check everything, look at your deductibles, look at, hey, is this truck insured at the right value, trailer insured at the right value? Just kind of review everything. Again, I'm just going off my experience with insurance. I know a lot of can chime in more about this, but this is just a good time to just kind of check everything. You know what I mean? Just make sure top to bottom that, you know what I mean, like you're good to go. And again, you need to have that anyway. If you're getting pulled into the scale and they say, hey, we'll inspect your truck. Okay, well, you got to have this document, you have this information anyway, right? So check your logs, make sure your logs are clean, make sure, everything is clean there. Everything's, just extra precaution is what I would share.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff. Lala said to just make sure that your insurance, whatever requirements you need, is just even on the policy itself. Because a lot of times, they don't even have that. Oh yeah, definitely that you have your CDL
Absolutely.
on you. I actually have a report that during that last roadside inspection blitz that they did, 17% of the people got put out of service because they did not have their CDL on them.
Unreal. Wow.
17%. 17% of the people got put out of service.
Now let me ask you a question, Jeff, because I've heard mixed situations. I had a driver who got pulled over when we was operating. I forgot the state that he got pulled over in, but he had an electronic copy of the license front and back on his phone, and that officer took it and accepted it. But I've heard mixed information about that. Like sometimes they're like, no, if we don't physically have that license, we're not taking it.
Yeah, and I think to Lada's points in only approved states, it goes back to the state requirements on it. Because I know at my job we have DOT, we have Georgia State Patrol, and I talk to them all the time about different stuff with trucking or whatever because of what I do. And they pretty much tell me that when it comes to the DOT requirements and stuff like that, a lot of times it's up to that actual person who's doing the roadside inspection on that person, because you may have one person that comes tomorrow and say, I'm gonna check AYZ, but then you may have another person that catches them on Wednesday and said, I'm just gonna check A. All right, hey, make sure you have XYZ on you next time. And then, because you don't know who's gonna, go by what when the next time you pull them over. But, that's Georgia. So yeah, it's pretty much, depends on who that person is that, is doing that check. Because I've heard stories the same as you where some people say, yeah, you got it on your phone, but I need to physically see it. I need to have it. So
and another thing I would bring up too, which is kind of obvious, and I know it's the wintertime, wash your truck. I know, obviously you can't, I know it's very hard to do it, but once the weather kind of calms down, wash your truck. You're less likely to get pulled over by DOT. So keep the dashboard clean, occasionally wash your truck, especially if you're probably more likely going into a southern state. Wash the truck, make it look clean. Go through a blue beacon, doesn't hurt. But if your truck is all dirty and iced up and you got mud, and you're likely to get pulled over. Pretty sure of that. So
Yeah. Yeah. Somebody asked a question earlier. Do you have a list of recommended shops throughout the state? I know we talked about that previously before, but do you have a list or any recommendations they can check?
yeah, I'm actually gonna compile a list of recommended shops that I've worked with, primarily out of Pennsylvania, Maryland, Georgia, Illinois, Texas, and California. So I could definitely share that with the group. I just got to get the numbers and the addresses, but I'll share with the group. You once I share the notes, you guys are more than willing to share to whoever.
Mhm.
But that was all predicated on how I was running my lane, right? So that may not correlate with you in terms of how you're routing, right? But that's all how you route your truck. If you're going into South Dakota every other week, you probably want to get a shop up there and get familiar with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'll be definitely helpful. But as with anything, you can take that list and then add to it. There's it's nothing to prevent you from adding to it if even the drivers, because the drivers are the ones that's out there, so they'll
yeah.
be able to tell you like, hey, I seen or talk to this other driver, and they made recommendations as well, and just follow up, just to check with them.
And,
Um,
and and to add to that too, I mean, again, this is why I've always the reason why this is important, because like truck shops, our volume fluctuate. Like this past week, coming out of like Thanksgiving, we were slammed. So
mhm.
like I probably couldn't have gotten to you if you even tried. You know what I mean? But we'd have other shops that we can definitely send you to in Georgia. You know what I mean? Like we work with Richard Kearns. Hey, go to Richard Kearns, they got you, right? Um, but that's part of how it works, right? Yes, I can send you to a recommended shop, but they're recommended shop for a reason. They do good, really, really good work, right?
Mhm.
And so having a plan B, a plan C, and backups is even more important. If you can't get into All American or get to APCO equipment in Chicago, you know what I mean. You have a backup that can still service your equipment.
Okay. So something just came to mind. I probably should have thought about this earlier, but when it comes to winterizing your truck, and you just said you guys got slammed coming out of Thanksgiving, when would be a good time to like pull that truck in before the wintertime hits so that they're not, you know, jammed up with, having to wait for the truck for too long, or the proper amount of time in advance to have their truck in the shop? What would you say to that?
That is a very good question. I love that question. So what we find out is that leading up to the holidays is a great time. You kind of got to be counter. You got to counter what's going on. So like obviously prior to Thanksgiving, most trucks were out. They were trying to make money before Thanksgiving, right? And they come home, right? That would have been a great week to come to the shop, because the week before Thanksgiving we were slow, super slow, right? Great time. You could have made an appointment. Hey, I'm coming in to get an oil change. I got a window. We could have got you in and out, did a DOT inspection, told you what was going on to get you out your way. Next coming holiday, which will be, Christmas and New Year's, will be a great time, right? So leading up to Christmas, if you want to drop your truck off with me with Christmas, that's fine. New Year's, great time. Some drivers, they take off that last 2 weeks and then start back up early January. That's a great time to get service. And that actually correlates to why we see a lot of volume at the beginning of the year. Like what happens is, for us, the beginning of December is going to be, compared to, well, aside from like that post Thanksgiving rush we had,
Mm-hmm.
probably going to get a little bit slow going up into Christmas. And then right after Christmas, trucks are going to pile back in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it just kind of like the ebb and flow of people trying to get their trucks situated for the start of the year, so that way they can get going. So we kind of been noticing that beginning and end of the month has been kind of like boom season, right? And then in the middle of the month it's like super slow. so so send me some work. Send me some work. But no, but
Right.
that's a great question, right? Because if everybody's trying to get their truck done at the same time, right? And we know there's constraints, right? With only got what 5 diesel mechanics, so and we got 20 trucks we got to work on, and he might need a transmission, he might need a rear end, he needs a oil change. We got to prioritize, obviously give you guys great service, but you'll be surprised. Most shops out there are dealing with the same stuff, right? And so this is why I say building that relationship is so important. I'll help anybody that if you're a one-off customer, I'm gonna treat you right. But like, hey, if you want to come back and back, more and more often, frequently, obviously I'm gonna take extra good care of you. So,
and I can definitely attest to the family atmosphere and vibe in the shop. I went out to the shop myself and introduced myself to the family over there,
appreciate it.
and great group of folks over there. I actually got to get back.
Yeah.
Aaron mentioned to me about
Actually,
my
we need more business cards and more
yeah
flyers because they
yeah yeah
flew off. We have a driver's lounge, and they flew off, man. So hey, you
yeah
got to replenish it.
yeah. I'm coming out, and my well, I got one of my mentees on the phone too. I'm gonna have her come out there as well, because
Sweet.
they may not want to deal with a guy, they may want to deal with a lady. I ain't no hater, so yeah.
Yeah, we take
Um,
good care of you, man. And like I said, we do honest work. We try to be fair, and like any shop, we've made mistakes. We got a bad review, we got a couple of hits, but for the most part, we take good care of you, right? And that's just the nature of the business. You get bad parts. I mean, you'll be surprised. I mean, this is why ordering parts and being proactive with parts is so important. I had a part that I bought out of Massachusetts a couple of years ago when we had a truck up there. The part failed. I mean, and I was mad at the shop, obviously, but it was a a messed up part, a brand new part from the dealership. It happens, right? So this is trucking. It's gonna happen. You just got to approach it and take the good with the bad. But overall, just be proactive. Be proactive for your equipment. If your truck needs to get serviced, get it into the shop. It's either going to cost you now or cost you way more later. That's the instance that I really understand it now. I always say, oh yeah, right, this is diesel mechanic. He's a crook. He's going to try to rip me off, right? No, I understand it. Like a lot of the stuff that we see in our shop is preventable. If they
yeah,
would have only got that truck in the shop much sooner, would have saved them thousands and thousands of dollars.
yeah. Mm. Yep, that's great information. So we're gonna pass it back over to Lada, let her do her things, and then we're gonna give you the last words. I really appreciate this conversation.
We
We
do
can
more of
go,
these.
we definitely we can go for hours, and talking about everything truck related. So, we're definitely gonna circle back and do this again. Our mutual friend, I invited him as well. He's overseas though. Definitely want to get him on to, so we can have like a real round table with, everything as far as, trucking goes, with the truck, trailer, mechanic shop,
Yeah,
different like that. So, um
absolutely.
2025,
Big plans.
yeah, 2025. My screen just went blank. Lana, take it away. I don't know what happened with my screen. It went
Uh-oh,
blank.
did I mess it up? I just came on camera. I hope I ain't make your screen go blank. Okay, so kind of what we like to do, and look, you guys can do this monthly, you could do this weekly, however you want to do it. There's plenty of room. There's never too much education because everybody digests it at a time um, they need it. It's like you can't just throw Google at somebody and be like, just know everything. But you have to know how to get the resources in order to find out the things when you need them. So in the chat, there was a lot of information shared. The chat is not being recorded. So if you hadn't been looking at the chat, you may want to peek at the chat right now to grab some of those tools. Also, if you're not a member, you're not getting some of the email blasts that tells you ahead of time of the different content that's coming out. So make sure you're plugged in there. I have the dollar code listed, so you could be a member for as low as $1. It's just again about collectively coming together with this mission of making sure that we're educating everyone, recognizing all the different roles that we all play and any of us can play. So, as Aaron says, that you may start off as a dispatcher and then you could become a broker, you could own the truck, you can drive the truck, you can service the truck, you can insure the truck, you can sell the truck. There's so many different ways you can be part of trucking, and so don't sell yourself short on that. Just off top, I wanted to just go over. I couldn't help myself. Just some of the insurance highlights. So thank you for the shout out on that. You know, this it's one of those things like and it's just been a weird environment even here the past week in regards to insurance, because insurance is one of those things that you don't really realize how much you need it till you don't have it. And then it also is one of the things that, like I said, everybody's situation is different. So having up, I hear a reverb. Having just realizing that everything goes through a claims process to where each individual circumstance will be taken into account versus the policy. That's kind of how that works. So if you have a driver that had a mess up or something happen, don't fire them off the top. That's a big one I tell people, because the first person that the adjuster is going to call is that driver. And so if you are, in that adverse relationship with that driver because they messed up. An accident's an accident, you guys. Nobody plans for it. And so just beware of that and just conscious of that. But what we like to do is just kind of give us, everyone in the room, really big about just having voice in our community, an opportunity to share what you learned or question you may have had for either of the speakers, and then share a little bit about yourself so we can kind of know and add you to our resource. So I'm a former school teacher. I go alphabetically with the roster. So if you're looking at that right now and you see your name, look, I've already warned one person, begins with like a letter A. Yes, you are going to be called first. And so, Alicia, did you want to come on the mic or camera and share with us what you took away today?
Hi. I took away a lot of information. It was very informative. I'm just starting out with my business, so the points that he made was really helpful to me because it was a lot of stuff that I had never even thought about. So I enjoyed it. I got a lot out of the meeting. Thank you.
Do you have a name for your business already, Alicia?
Yes, my business name is Rockin' the Roads. I'm in New York. So
Excellent.
And can I jump in, Alicia, and say welcome, welcome. This is your first meeting and you're a new member. So can we all give her like a virtual round of applause? That is awesome. Like I know it's not my turn, but I hope I was thinking about you specifically. I felt this was amazing. I really wanted you to attend this, and the rest of you as well, because getting in this business, it is so important to make sure that we're educated, we have the resources that we need, we have the connections that we need, we're prepared for the best and the worst. And the only way to do that is to get in these rooms, talk it out. Mr. Aaron, you dropped some gems. And Miss Alicia, hopefully you were able to pick those gems up because you are going into this business and this is everything you need to know. Great job, Mr. Miles, and great job, Mr. Jeff. I appreciate you all.
Thank you so much.
There you go. And welcome, welcome. And that's why you'll kind of hear me a lot of time, because don't get down on yourself for having to learn it all. None of us know it all. None of us. And you'll never know it all. And so knowing how to research it, knowing how to talk to people is very key. And just having a good attitude and asking the right questions will always bring you far. But thank you for joining us. And we look forward to networking and helping you grow. Miss Candy Lane, Candy Lane Express.
Hey, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I should say. Hope everyone is doing well. I am Jeff's mentee, so I'm here. I did not see the link to join membership. Was that in the chat? Did I miss it? Can you all hear me?
Yes, it's in the chat. I'm putting it in the chat again.
Okay.
And so the promo code is ProDriver, all caps.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Share with us. You said so you're a mentee, and so
Yes.
Candy Lane Express, and where are you located?
I am located in Douglasville, Georgia.
All right. Look, whatever, Jeff. No, I'm messing with you. Well, thank
Yeah,
you for coming. And is this your first
thank you.
time
This is
networking
my
with me?
first time. It is. It is.
Okay.
And it's so much great information to keep our drivers safe on the road. So thank you all both so much. It was great. Thank you.
Awesome. And so I'm hearing also local person. So we have a little special giveaway here at the very end of the call. And so maybe, this is a great opportunity to stay for just a few more minutes. Miss Patricia.
First off, I want to say thank you to Alicia and Candy Lane Express because I did not go first this time. And second, my name is Patricia Walker, CAP for short. I am the owner of Iconic Logistics Services in Clearwater, Florida, and I'm a broker.
Awesome. Look, that's why I was just laughing because she already knows that's how that goes. But look, I'll mix it up some. But thank you for being here, and we look forward to hearing from you as well with some of the certifications that you've been able to get in the industry, and even just trucking in Florida is always a hot topic and a very specialized topic. So looking forward to
Yes,
hearing more from you.
no problem. Whenever I can definitely tell about certifications and I can tell about the non-existence driving in Florida. But yes, but is she a driver or because she just said the name of her business, but she didn't get like exactly what she did. So is she getting into driving part of trucking?
Alicia, I'll let you answer.
Well, here in New York, I am a driver. I drive a bus, a commercial bus, but I was starting my own trucking business, so I was going to be driving and also hiring drivers once I get everything started. But I've been a driver for 28 years now. But this is going to be the first time I'm starting my own trucking business.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Congrats. Wow, 28 years. Wow. Look, you sound so young. I mean, just listed and kind of giving you a compliment with that as well. So thank you for being here. So we definitely have a series that's coming out next year just talking about trucking then and now. So would love to get your perspective on that. Miss Jamie.
Good day to all. I'm Jamie Green with Clutch Boss LLC. We're located out of Atlanta, Georgia. We're a logistic hauling company, dump truck to be exact. One car, large or small, we haul. Um, I got from this is great information, especially when you said about the shoes, because whether it's snowing or raining, you definitely need that shoe support. Another thing that I liked it was he said it's about relationships, because when you're in the dump truck business, it's all you got to know is who you know, because they're like a secret society. So I look forward to being a member and learning more new things from you all.
Jamie, thank you so much for being on, and we welcome you to being a member. We have a gentleman by the name of Donovan Smith. That's also one of our members. He's in the dump truck space. I think he would be a great connection. He's not on here today, which you guys won't be on every Saturday, right? But that's okay. You get in the room when it calls your name. And so we look forward to hopefully you and him connecting. He does a great deal here in Atlanta of the same lane you're in. So I'm just thinking of him off the top of my mind because he's one of our newer members that have been extremely active, and I think you guys could definitely make some magic. So yeah, this is what this is all about, guys. Is communication and resources and tapping into one another. One team, one dream is what I'm big on saying that, and I don't just mean that for art. I mean this for our community. We have to tap in and connect with one another. This is how we grow, and this is how we thrive and survive. Thank you, Jamie. I look forward to you all becoming members. And I love to hear more about you all.
Thank you, Jamie. And we're actually trying to collaborate with the Association of Dump Trucks. I'm probably butchered that, but that's more to come too because that is a lane that allows drivers to be local. and that's a big focus that we have coming up for the new year. All right,
Real
Miss
quick,
Lashonda.
before you do
Oh,
that, real quick, Miss Lotta,
mhm.
Miss Jamie, is your company minority certified?
No, we're working on that as we speak. DEB too as well. And I'm
DB,
also a member.
do you already
Oh,
have the paperwork for DB?
yes, we do.
Okay, all right. I was just gonna provide it to you if you didn't have it because I did mine. I've had it for a year now, so I'm just gonna shoot it over to you.
Okay, appreciate it. Well, you still can shoot it to me. And, hey, everything helps. But I'm already a member of the NDTA, the National Dump Truck Association.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Okay. So yeah, definitely room full of resources, you guys. Lashonda, are you available?
Yes. Hey, I'm LaShonda. I'm based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I am the founder of New Heights HR Solutions. And what I do is partner with owners and small businesses to help streamline their people operations and make sure that everything is running smoothly so we can meet our long-term goals and business goals. So I really appreciate this information because a lot of my clients they just want to have that truck moving, and we got to figure out some things to really retain the drivers, keep them happy, keep them safe. Because money is the end goal, but there's multiple ways we got to really make sure that we get to that goal.
Absolutely. And she is listed on our auto marketplace, which I just dropped the link. If you're interested in joining the marketplace, that's the affiliate or the business membership. I've got a discount code, so just feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email with Auta. I'm Lotta at Auta, LADDA at aawta.org. So you can reach out to me to get the discount code to be listed amongst the community marketplace. And last but not least, Shalicia from Louisiana. That's why I was like, I feel like I know you
Mhm.
already.
Yes, I'm Shalicia from Louisiana. My company is Legree Logistics. Legree being my middle name. I am a dispatcher and I'm new to the business. I just started dispatching in March of this year. Um, prior to that, I was working for the state of Louisiana for the last 30 years. So I retired last year and this fell into my lap. And so I've been studying and taking courses and actually started
Hello.
dispatching for Hot Shots. Oh, can y'all hear me?
Yes, I got it.
Oh, okay. I thought I was hearing somebody else. I'm sorry. Yeah, so I've been in business since March of this year. I've been actively dispatching. And what I took away is to always be prepared and to be proactive. Um, in winter and really any season, just always be prepared for anything.
Absolutely. I saw that you were taking the notes, and so I did want to say after this call ends, the AI notes will go to the
Mhm.
address that you registered with. So for those that may have felt like they missed something or came in a little later, just know
Oh,
that that's
okay.
coming out. But it's always great to have your own notes. Look, a school teacher
Right.
just loves that. And so thank you for taking
Okay.
notes. Well, you
All
guys, I
right.
know I went a little bit over time, but we appreciate you hanging around because we do have a really special giveaway here by Jeff and myself, really too, and Nicole, for especially for the local people. But we do want to open it up, give the opportunity to all that are on this call. So, Jeff, I'm going to go ahead and let you do the giveaway.
Yes, yes, yes. Before I do the giveaway, I would like to do a shameless plug as well. Um, you all on the call, most of you know that I'm a trucking consultant and a dispatch. But if you are in Atlanta, Georgia, if you have a driver that needs to get their DOT screening done, if they need to get fingerprinted, if they need a consortium, please, 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 as you're doing your research, look up NCR Med Lab. We have a physical location in Dallas, Georgia. It's no wait. If you guys are familiar with Concentra or Caduceus, you sign in and you sit down and you wait for them to call you. We're not like that. You set an appointment time, whatever your appointment time is, you will you'll get in at that appointment time. If anybody needs a return to duty screening, They will see my happy face on Saturday. That is a different ordeal, but yes, give us a check. Check us out. We love to be of service to you. They need consortium, like I said. We can do all of that as well. But this part is the giveaway time. Anyone that here is local, this coming Thursday, December 12th, a wonderful event with my good friends and family over at African American Women Truckers Association. They're having a gala, the second annual. Unfortunately, I will not be able to attend, so I am giving away my VIP ticket to someone that is interested in attending. Shalisha, you and your big pockets, if you want to fly in on Thursday, you're more than welcome to do so. Is this
Thank
Thursday?
you. I won't be able to. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I
Because
know,
I
I
think
know.
I told, yeah, but my little nieces and with school and my
Yeah,
nephews and all, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But if
yeah. And I
anyone is
forgot to
available,
mention too that
uh-huh.
Jeff invited me. I'm one of his mentees. So
Yeah.
I forgot to add that.
That's
Mhm,
cool. That's cool. Yeah, I
mhm,
appreciate you both,
mhm,
my mentees, for
mhm.
investing in yourselves as far as showing up to the events on Saturdays. I know I sent a lot of invites out. It's a lot of resources here. A lot of people that you can connect with outside of myself. You have Aaron Miles here. He'll pick up the phone. He'll text you. You got a question. I had a situation where I had a gentleman that I was dispatching. His lights went out at like 1:30 in the morning. I didn't call Aaron at 1:30 in the morning. I waited till, respectable hour to ask him a question. But
You
yeah,
could have called
so
me.
I know, but it's a lot of resources in here. So if you're new here and if you're watching the replay, I can probably say there's no other community like this with all of the resources that we have. But back to the giveaway, is there anyone that is able, willing, and interested in coming this Thursday to the second annual Power to Drive Gala?
Well, I'm coming and I already bought a ticket, but I'll take your VIP. I didn't do VIP, but I'll switch.
Hey, then you can pass the other ticket on, invite somebody else. One team, one dream.
That's a great idea.
Now I just gotta figure out, Nicole, how do I do that?
Mhm.
But that's it. That's my portion right there. I'm looking forward to everything that's coming down that we have going. We have some more. I got some great stuff coming too with some guest speakers. So, lot of Nicole, how do I make sure this young lady gets her ticket?
So the email I sent, I think I sent you. I'll resend it to you. You could just get it over to her. I'll resend it to you with a promo code on there that she can use. That's yours. If you want to drop your email address or get Jeff's information, he'll text it over to you. Let me get this over to Jeff. I'm excited. It's going to be an amazing event. Um, um, thank you, Jeff and Lotta and the rest of the leaders that are on this call. Donna, my mom, for making sure this is a success. We are doing this for the community. Everything we do it for this community. It's important. It's important to celebrate us. It's important for us to support one another. I love to say this thing that there's this big myth that as African Americans, as Black people, we don't support each other. That's a lie. Okay, it's a lie. We love each other. We support each other. We push each other, and I love that we invite others to do the same. So it's just not about Black people. It's about everybody that wants to support us. We're here for it. Whether you're a man, you're a woman, you're a butterfly, or an alien. We appreciate you getting in this space and supporting one another's growth and development, because this is what it takes, guys. This is what it takes. My mother always says nobody's coming to save us, so we have to save ourselves. And so that's what AUTA is about. It's about us getting in this room and saving ourselves, helping each other grow, get to the next level. We holding in information and being a gatekeeper, it doesn't serve anybody any good. I feel so good when I'm able to help my brother or my sister. I feel so good when I'm able to provide them a connection or a resource. So I appreciate all that you do, Mr. Jeff, Mr. Aaron. Thank you guys. That was an amazing segment. I pray we do another one just like that, because there's so many new drivers and so many new owner operators that are getting into this business, and they're not even doing something as simple as a pre-check. Just to hear the importance of why, okay, or your clothing, your attire, your shoes. I've seen people in slippers in the middle of the winter
Mm.
trying to just some crazy things, and maybe somebody hasn't told them, maybe they haven't gotten in a room in a community just like this where they're able to get the support that they need. So I appreciate the knowledge and the gems that you guys drop each and every Saturday. Lotta, thank you for making sure we have a place to learn, grow, and connect every Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And so, unless there's any other questions, I'm actually going to turn off the recording. I always do that.